Yo, what's up, Fomo fam? I get a lot of questions about when I think we should buy altcoins, because I am a big preacher of not going too heavily into altcoins right now, as they are still bleeding against Bitcoin. And I do think that the best strategy is buying the Bitcoin dip, and when the Bitcoin dominance is really sitting high, then deploying your Bitcoin into altcoins, so that if the Bitcoin dominance goes down, we can ride an alt season, right? We cannot have an alt season yet. Therefore, the dominance is too low. But if you are planning on buying altcoins with your dollars, then it might be a little different. So let me also talk about that, and when I am actually going to buy these 10 altcoins. So with that being said, welcome to the Fomo Factory. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, and let's get right into it. Now, the example of one portfolio that I want to give is the portfolio of Crypto Banter. Yeah, Crypto Banter. And in the next video, I will do a portfolio of Alex Becker. If you feel like, why these portfolios? What portfolios? I'm doing a portfolio giveaway. If you don't know about it, go watch the channel. I'd say I set up a couple of crypto portfolios with their calls. And once Bitcoin hits $100,000, we take a look which portfolio has the most growth. And that portfolio I'm going to give away to the community. Can be worth a lot of money. Can be worth a lot of money. But when to buy these coins? Well, let me first tell you this. DCA is the way. So I will show you these portfolios, in this case the portfolio of Crypto Banter and their altcoins, when I will buy these altcoins. But first, DCA is the way, and that's really what you should do right now. If you are not dollar costing, then you are basically trying to time the bottom or whatever, and that usually doesn't work. So please, if you feel like, yo, I love this altcoin and I don't want to miss out, suit for yourself what you're going to do with it, of course. But I would say, if you have $1,000 for it, don't deploy your full $1,000 on it. That's not smart to do, in my opinion. If you look at Bitcoin, it's doing pretty, okay. We have a pullback right now, but that's expected. If you look at the total 3, really lagging, right? I have all these stupid circles from the last video, but it's really lagging still. And that tells you that altcoins are, running behind. Bitcoin is killing it so far, right? You have always exceptions of altcoins that pop, but overall altcoins are not doing great. That's pretty understandable. Also, if you take a look at the last cycle, for example, Bitcoin, it bottomed right here in December 10, 2018. And we went also quite low here in March 2020, but not as low as here. Right? If you now look at the total 3, so altcoins, you see that it bottomed at the same period. But here as well, March 2020, altcoins even went a little lower. So if you think that the Bitcoin bottom is in, which I do think, it doesn't necessarily mean that the altcoin bottom is also in. But on the other hand, it could be, right? You just don't know. Right? You can be the best TA guy out there. You can have the most experience of all, but that doesn't make you someone that can predict the future, of course. So we don't know, and therefore you want a dollar cost, right? You don't want to be a perma bull. You don't want to be, it's now going up, let's go all in. That's stupid. You also don't want to be a perma bear like Capo or a couple of his followers probably that say like, no, I'm not going to buy anything because it is going lower. Like, you don't know. What if you're wrong? Then you missed out. And it doesn't seem like much, you're just missing out. And these cycles happen once every 4 years. You want to wait another 4 years to go through all of this again? Let's make the most out of this. So let me pull up the Crypto Banter portfolio and show you my target. So like I said, by the way, for my own personal portfolio, I'm using most of my money to buy Bitcoin, like I said, because once the Bitcoin dominance is sitting a lot higher, right? Again, guys, please listen. I need you to understand this, because this is important, right? You want to become rich with crypto. That's what I want. That's why we are in crypto. You're not in for the tech. Come on, don't say that, right? So what do you need for that? Well, if you are not fully in Bitcoin, if you're not a Bitcoin maxi, then what do you need? You would prefer an alt season, probably, right? I would love to see an alt season. an alt season is where the Bitcoin dominance is crashing while Bitcoin is going up, right? That's, well, it's basically when the Bitcoin dominance is crashing, because an alt season is when altcoins outperform Bitcoin, right? But if you really want to see some movements in the dollar price as well, the best thing is that if Bitcoin goes up. So here, December 2020 till May 2021, for example, let me take a look what happened right there. That's here, right? So Bitcoin was going up from, let's say, 19K till, what was it? Well, 65, give or take. So Bitcoin was absolutely mooning. But what happened in the meantime, the Bitcoin dominance went down. So altcoins outperformed Bitcoin while Bitcoin was already mooning, right? So altcoins were really making you, this changed people's lives like crazy. And you did not even have to deploy 100K to make a lot of freaking money right here. These were hundreds of X's. That's what we want. Okay, but we do not get this downward trend until we are first up again, right? So now this is the range, of course, and it's very likely that the Bitcoin dominance is going to do this. That could cause a little altcoin season if Bitcoin goes up. Like I said, I don't expect that because Bitcoin is sitting at major resistance, so I don't think that's the case right now. But eventually, I would like to see that the Bitcoin dominance just goes up more and more and more, right? And that means, yeah, if you are in altcoins, they are getting wrecked against Bitcoin, right? Does not necessarily mean that they are getting wrecked against the dollar. I mean, if Bitcoin is going up as well, then altcoins are okay, right? If this happens while Bitcoin is going down, then your altcoins are going to be so much cheaper, right? Which is a good thing if you still have money to accumulate, of course. But once we are here, or, you know, in this area at least, then we go down, right? Here's where you want to deploy. And for the smaller pumps, you can also deploy here. That's what I'm doing a little bit right now. But, you know, this is an alt season. This is a rally, right? Let me dive into the portfolio, though, because also people have just dollars instead of Bitcoin to accumulate. And I think most people still do have that. So let me talk about that. So let me start with this portfolio. Now, as you can see, Banter challenge. We have a couple of coins. Wesder, Scallop, Arweave, Silica, Wild World, Thorchain, Veracity, Paribus, Avalanche, and Magic. Now, as you can see right here, I already deployed money, right? Because I do think that if you are dollar costing, right, then and you look at this chart right here, my expectation is that we eventually go down here, right? That will be the best place to buy. But like I said, I can be wrong. And what if I just wait for this to happen? It's steady in dollars, but this never happens. And we just do something like this. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to wait another 4 years, right? So therefore, I choose to dollar cost, right? So I dollar cost it here, exactly here. My plan is to dollar cost. If my expectation is to get down here, that's 40% lower, right? So I dollar cost here. I dollar cost another 20% lower, give or take, and I dollar cost another 20% lower. Now, I'm not really, you know, I'm using this chart as an example, but I do, you know, look at the individual coins, because it could be that one of these coins right here is already going down 20%, while this is just going down like here, right? I mean, this is an average. Your coins could do better or worse. So, but this is my prime example that I am living up to. So let me just go through it one by one to show you when I am going to buy what exactly. Now, Wesder, that's a coin that Hustlepedia called. Let me pull up the chart for Wesder, as I don't think it is. Do I have it here? I might have it here. Yeah. All right, Wesder. So this is a thing because Wesder is pretty new still, right? Here it shows since February 2020. So let me go to DEX tools, see if I can find a chart that gives us a little more history. You always want to do that. The more history you could go off, the better, of course. If I put it on the weekly, what do we see? September 2022. Okay, so that's a little more history right here. So let me put it on the daily chart to give you a good TA on this. Now, what is Wesley doing? I apparently already drawn this. It's a long time ago. But it's pretty cool to see that it's still in this range right here. Now, you know, when Wesley came out, it had a lot of hype, of course. And it went pretty high. Of course, it cooled off. People panic sold and it went to the lower side of the range. But now it's cooled off, right? Now it's in the range, right? And now we see how the coin actually performs. So the range is still, I don't really have to change this, really, between 2.5 cents and 1.9 cents. So it's not a big range, but it is a range, right? What I'm basically looking at right now is I already have my Wesley, and if I look at the profit loss on Wesley, nothing, right? So I bought it where we are right now, basically. So I'm not gonna buy it right here. That's no use, right? Especially if you see that Wesley is doing this all the time, right? So why would I buy here if there is a very likely chance that it will get here again, right? I mean, even lower, maybe you can also draw it here. It kind of makes, maybe even makes more sense, by the way. So let me remove it a little bit, move it a little bit. Yeah, give or take, right? 1.85. So if that's the range that it always gets to, like in the last 4 months, it went once, two times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know how much, right? A lot. So that's my next target. And from where we are right now, that's 16, well, that's 17% lower. That's pretty close to my 20% target, right? And since this is the range, I feel like, I'm not going to wait like stubborn until it's actually 20%. This is close enough for me, right, to have a new buy. So that's where I will buy Wesley at 1.9 cents, give or take. Let me put it like that, right? That's my target for Wesley. Now, also, I do have a third target, of course, as I showed you. Let me change it, well, whatever. Also, I have a third target, and that target is all the way down here, right? That's not within this range. How come? Well, we have not been here yet, right? This is way lower, right? So that's a price discovery range to the downside, at least. So you always want to leave some money behind for shit that you do not expect to happen, right? What if we, or maybe you do expect, but something that's not really priced in yet. What if we do get a recession? What if Binance falls? What if, right? And always keep consideration some scenarios that you think that are probably not going to happen. Why? Last 12 months kind of proved us that all the stuff that we didn't think was going to happen, happened. So now you want to be prepared for stuff that you don't think is going to happen, so you think it's going to happen anyway, right? If you follow me. Because you could have thought like, oh, after Luna, it was finally over. After Celsius, it was finally over. After 3AC, it was finally over. After FTX, it was finally over. After USDC DPEG, I'm finally over. After whatever. So far, there's always something new coming. And eventually, it will stop. But have some money for the non-priced in drops, right? And you know, this is the range so far for the total 3, right? So if this is the range, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, who says it can go down? Like, that's weird. Like, of course, it's more likely that it gets here than it's not going to happen, right? So far, it's the range. And they say the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Well, the trend hasn't ended yet, right? So why would I think that it won't happen? So I definitely want to leave some money for this area as well. So that's my Wesley target. Well, the next target, I don't have that for Wesley as that's not shown on the charts, right? So I don't set a target yet. This is my target right here, 1.9 cents, give or take. And after that, we will see. If we get here, we will see where Wesley is sitting then, right? We will see. And I think that goes for a lot of altcoins. Next one, Scalp, SCLP. Let me take a look. So, you know, always also look at the Bitcoin pair, right? Because Scalp, also showing incredible weakness right now, right? Because we had support on this level where we are since May 2022, all the way since October, and we came down and we tested it very shortly as support. Again, we went under it quickly, but we got above it and support again. So it's a very strong support level, right? It's multi-months of support. But now, you know, you can see the line perfectly, right? It's support right here. Here, like that, right? Now we are there again, right? And eventually, I think that if the dominance decides, you know, to moon a little bit more, we can break and crash, right? But on the other hand, why would you say like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's on that big support. It tested it so many times and it went up. If you look at that, it's easy trade, right? Chances that it bounces off of here, very high, right? And you can, on average, look where we went here, give or take, right? It's pretty easy, 23% trade, right? Imagine if you do that on average, by the way. But let's not look at that too much. Let's take a look at the dollar. And also, it's in this range right here. Now, when I look at this range, I would set my next target for a scallop at the lower side of the range, right? Very simple, 25% down. So it went there a lot as well. That's kind of how you do your TA when like, I'm not an expert in this, but it's not that hard if you want to look at the basics, right? This is the range. So it probably gets there, right? And if we are now at the top side of the range, so why would you buy now? Like, no. So I will wait for this 25% discount. It's a lot. It's a lot. The difference is all the time when we were here, we were under the bull market support band. As you can see this thing right here. And now we are above it. We are also above the 50 weekly moving average. So it is showing some strength. So that could be a sign of change of trend, right? Because you can also draw a line here, where we had also resistance, right? Also a lot of resistance right here. Now we broke above it, and we are now testing it as support. So it could be that now this is becoming the new trend, right? Therefore, also dollar cost, because if this now is the range, then you are also buying at the lower side of this range. So buy here and buy here. Right? It's not like that. That's basically how I do it. R-weave. Let me take a look at R-weave. Yeah, R-weave kind of broke down, and it could be a fake out like here. Could be. But I, on my R-weave buy, am still up like 3%, which is kind of nice because it's basically sitting at its lows, right? I bought it for 743. It's now sitting at 770. So I bought it here. Give it a here. So I had a very good entry in R-weave. So my next buy for R-weave is not going to be right now, right? That's not. If I have to, you know, take a look at this chart, then it will be probably, yeah, it's not a big difference, right? If we buy it right here, 10% down. I'd rather buy it here at the lows of $6, right? Will it get there? I don't know. Do I think it gets? It's likely that it gets there, in my opinion. So, you know, that would be my next target, around $6, give or take, slightly higher than that. If we look at R-weave Bitcoin, you can see it right here as well. Why is it so weak? Well, also, again, the Bitcoin dominance, you know, it shot up, right? And it took a lot of coins off of their last support. R-weave had this as support and it crashed. And yeah, it's now basically in free fall. Will we find support here? Will we find it here? Will we find it here? Will we find it here? We don't know, right? We don't know. So therefore, I wouldn't go too crazy on these kind of dips, because this dip right now is different than the dip that we had in December 2022, right? Where we were at the dollar valuation at the same level. But if you look at 12 December 2022, probably look here, 12 December 20 was here, right? On the Bitcoin pair, it was sitting at support, right? The price was the same, but the Bitcoin pair was sitting a lot higher. Now this broke support. So now you can imagine that if Bitcoin goes down instead of up, what it did lately, that Arweave on their dollar pair can crash actually harder and lost that support already where it was, right? And that's pretty likely. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, rejection here, right? We haven't retested the 25K yet even. So it's very likely that we go down there, in my opinion. I cannot tell you anything for sure. Let me put it like this. I would be very surprised if we do not retest, 25.2, give or take, right? We will get there. 100%. Let me tell you, like 100%. Yes. So in that case, Arweave is likely, very likely to go down. All right. I'm becoming more of a preaching channel. Sorry for this, but I think it's important to know because it's so easy to get wrecked right now with coins. Zilliqa. Look, as well. But you have to understand, this is what we need, right? Because we are also, the lower we get, the better the opportunities are for us to make more money. Like if you bought Zilliqa here, for example, right? And let's say we go back to all-time high, 6x or 7x, right? 600%, 7x. Nice, right? That's nice. But what if Zilliqa, and we'll take a look at that in a while, goes back down to these lows, right? And it goes back to its all-time high. Make a 17x. You see that huge difference in your gains? If you have patience and if you do not try to rush into every single dip, right? That's why I'm saying, like, don't buy every dip. Don't go too crazy on altcoins yet. Not because you will lose money necessarily. You will probably have some temporary losses and you maybe even make wrong decisions then. But also because you will miss out on a lot of gains. If you just have $1,000 to spend on something and you spend it here, right? You will make, oh, it's a little different, sorry. You will make $9,000 or $10,000. It's so nice. But what if you can make $17,000? Why would you not do that, right? So Zilliqa on the Bitcoin pair, let me take a look. Yeah, also fucked, right? Because the level where we are sitting right now is huge support. I have to tell you that. And I don't want to be negative. It definitely is a level that you can think like, wow, this is where we should have a bounce. Right? So, and that could definitely happen. So when you look at the chart, and if I would not have a position in Zilliqa yet, I would buy it right now. Let me tell you like that. But I'm also saying dollar costing, right? Because you also see that a lot of altcoins, like we just saw on Arweave, for example, they broke that support, right? Zilliqa didn't yet. But a lot of altcoins are already breaking that support, right? And what if Zilliqa breaks it? Then it's a long way down. It's a long way down. This is a 40-50% crash that it could have from here. Look, if we go down here, 42%, right? So when I look at this chart for Zilliqa right now, it is sitting at a great buying level. Like the best level you could have got in this whole bear market, basically, right? The top, November 2021 was here. Zilliqa went down, had a great, crazy spike and went down again. We got this opportunity once, twice, thrice. Thrice is an actual word, right? Yeah. So there are not a lot of these opportunities, but it does not mean that we cannot get better opportunities. And opportunities is the same as getting wrecked, but it depends on your position, right? If you still have dollars and you prepare for something like this, then it's an opportunity. If you feel like, yeah, now it's the perfect time to go all in, and then it happens, then you're wrecked, right? So it's life-changing, definitely. But, you know, it could also fuck up your life. That's also life-changing. A Zilliqa dollar pair, yeah. What can I say? I mean, also, you have to look at it like this. We had a high, we had a lower high, lower high. We had a spike, but eventually it didn't last, and we had a lower high, lower high. We now kind of similar, right? Except this fake out. But overall, the trend is still down, right? That's very easy to see. I mean, if you have to draw a line, you cannot draw it like this, right? The trend or like this. The trend is down, right? And usually you do not go too crazy on something that's still going down. But I think that if Zilliqa loses its Bitcoin pair right here and it goes down quite hard, then the dollar pair could easily see this low again. I've bought Zilliqa for this portfolio at, let me take a look, 2.7 cents. It's now sitting at 2.6, give or take, so not a big difference. So I wouldn't buy right now. I could be interested in buying it here, 2.1, right? That's around 20% down, and that's where this support comes in. This support here, we have some stuff going on. It's not huge support, but it does not have to mean we have to go back right here, right? From that point, however, if we go down here, that's another like 20-30%, right? That would be my last entry. Could it make new lows? Yeah, it could. But I think that this entry and this entry is perfect for Zilliqa. Because also, if you then go back to the all-time high again, yeah, like I said, that's really another, that's huge profit, right? Sorry that it all takes so long, these videos, but I also try to explain why I am showing you something and why I think what I think, why I do what I do. I think that's way more valuable than just throwing around random numbers. So sorry it takes some of your time, but I hope it's also worth more. Rune, Torchain, let me take a look. Rune, don't I have the Bitcoin pair? I have to add the Bitcoin pair as well, by the way. Always do that, please. It is there, though. Oh, here it is for some reason. All right. So Rune Bitcoin also, look at the chart. It's horrible. It's horrible, right? There's basically, we had support around, you know, around this level here, right? We had a little support right here, a little support around this level, turned into resistance, a lot of resistance. And then when Bitcoin started its run, and the Bitcoin dominance did as well, Rune completely crashed, right? In a matter of like a month, almost, slightly more, it came down more than 40%. 40%. But can you imagine that there were people back here yelling on YouTube and Twitter, all these influencers, buy altcoins. Now is the time. It was not the time. Look at this. 40% wiped out in a matter of a few weeks. Therefore, patience, right? The patient gets rewarded. Big time, right? You did not only save yourself 40%, but also, if you go back here, you make 70%. And you have 70% more cash than the people that finally played even back there then, right? So Rune Bitcoin looks terrible. Rune Dollar still holds up for now. But that's what I'm saying. If Bitcoin goes down now, then Rune Dollar is doomed. Doomed. Right? So my target, I bought, I'm 7% down, so also not that big of a difference. Sorry for this. So I bought somewhere around here as well. My next target, if I go around 20% lower, yeah, that's around this last support basically. And will it get there? I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. So 1.7, give or take, for Rune is my next target. Come on, why do I do this? Next one, Wilder World. One of the best looking metaverse games, well, metaverses out there. Wilder World, Bitcoin, relatively strong, has some relative strength right here. However, it was in this kind of an upward trend. As you can see, I don't know if I can make it a little better. Yeah. Right? It was climbing, and it now broke down. So now you want to not rush in. I mean, it's under its 50 weekly moving average. It's under the bull market support band. It's under this upward trend that it was in since almost a year already. I think that this level, let me say instead of this level, I think that, you know, give or take 12% lower on its Bitcoin pair is the first target. But it could get a lot lower, of course, if we look at Wilder World USDT. Struggling in this area right now. My target is, I have bought it also, I'm 8% down. It's also not, come on, it's also not that big of a difference right now. But my next target will be slightly more than 20%. I think 25, 26 cents is a good target for it. And we could go down from there, you know, another 20%. Slightly higher maybe, which will take it around 20 cents. So 25 cents, 20 cents for Wilder World. Good targets. You have to understand, it came from $7, $8 almost, right? I don't know about the market cap back there. I have to take a look at that. But purely price-wise, it's not looking that bad if you get these entries. Next one, Veracity, VRA. Let me find it. On its Bitcoin, Veracity, by the way, is a very strong one. Look, I mean, we had big resistance over here in 2020, right? At this level, you can also put it like this, give or take. But this level was strong resistance. And basically in 2021, on the Bitcoin pair, it broke out and we now found support there. But it's not like a lot of other altcoins sitting on that last final support. A lot of them are already sitting here or below it. So Veracity has room, right? So if Bitcoin crashes, Veracity has at least room to bounce off of this level. But this is also a lot down. I think like 30%, 36% down, right? On its Bitcoin pair. Will we get there? Probably. So Veracity could definitely go down a lot in price, right? If Bitcoin stays the same, while it goes down 35% on its Bitcoin pair, then it also goes down 35% on its dollar pair, right? Which would take it right here at this support level of 0.0036. Bitcoin won't stay the same, of course. It will also change in price. But now the trend is obviously down. I think it will at least go to this level, which is 17% down, which is not, you know, it's a good entry, in my opinion. It's a good entry. If it gets down below there, I think here, and that's in total another 40% down, right? So 20% first, 40% next. Veracity is pretty easy example when it comes to that. PBX, low cap, by the way. PBX. I don't have a Bitcoin pair for this one, unfortunately. But let me take a look. Price is, it's strong. It had that's nice because it had a very big bounce. It was getting wrecked completely, but it had a very big bounce of like 5x, right? And yeah, of course, after that 5x, it came down already 44%. Does that mean it can't come down more? Yeah, it can go down way more. It's only understandable that it has a big correction after such a pump, of course. It now, I must say, sits at a pretty decent support level. If you look at this, right, we had a lot of support right here. When we broke down, we had some resistance right here, and now it's support, right? So if you feel like, I want to buy some, good entry right now. And I am down 12%. I bought a little higher than this. So I don't know, somewhere here as well. This is a good entry in my opinion. I would be interested in buying more here at 0.00135. give or take. Yeah. And if it breaks down below, then 0.001 basically is a good entry. Yeah. Avalanche. Avalanche is a good long-term project, man. I kid you not. Let me also get the Bitcoin version. Let me use something else in Binance that does not have a lot of history usually. Yeah, okay. So look at this. Avalanche Bitcoin, same example, right? It's when it comes to the Bitcoin pair, it's sitting on its last support right here, right? And it's I don't know, exciting times. Let me put it like that, because it looks like a lot of altcoins are breaking that, and then it could go to the downside price discovery mode, and that could really lead to a hard crash. But it's also understandable that it is big support, so why shall it not bounce? Right? So therefore, or it goes up big time to the upside, or it goes down big time to the downside, right? And you don't know. You don't know until it happens. You can put your best TA on it, but you don't know. Therefore, dollar cost, but whatever, fuck my preaching. You understand what I'm trying to say right here, right? Avalanche, therefore, if you dollar cost, this entry, perfect. My entry was, yeah, I'm 4% up, so also around here, right? I have to get a little more, by the way. I just have $100 in Avalanche, so it's not much. I'm going to buy a little bit more Avalanche at this level, exactly here. Then let me put it on the dollar chart. Also, Avalanche, I've already drawn 2 levels right here, and the next level is not that far from here. Is here, 13% down. I think for Avalanche, that's where I will put in my second buy, so slightly under 20%, as this is just a big level, right? And that's, what is it, $14. My next target is a lot lower, it's $10, right? Because from that $14, it's down 23%. So this right here, if you look at this, is a total of 35. I think that's pretty fair for AVAX. And then the last one was Magic, by the way, that I haven't bought yet. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It was pumping quite hard, from 25 cents all the way to $2, give or take more, even 2.20. So it had such a hard pump. And for Magic, I just don't think that we had the big dump yet, right? Look what happened. And I don't know if there's an exchange that has some more Gauge usually has. After this pump right here that it had from, well, it was even lower. And what we saw like 25 cents. But let's say, look, 400%. 400%. And from there, it just came down also 45%. It's not enough for me. And maybe this is just what it is. Maybe it's what it is. And, you know, maybe I shouldn't, you know, this is the level, I think, by the way. Yeah, 120. 120 for Magic. Looks like a very good level, by the way. Maybe it just doesn't go down as much again, right? It doesn't have to. So my first entry will be 120. You know, you can also put it like this. And then it also makes sense. And that's where we are right now. So between 120 and 130 is a decent level, I think. I think 120 makes more sense, though. So I don't know. I could buy some Magic right now, to be honest. My next level, though, would be... Yeah, it's kind of... Let me... Around 77 cents. And that's down a lot from that 120, right? That's down 35%. Does it get there? Maybe not. Maybe this is also a good level where we had this, and this, right? 85 cents. And that's down 30% from that 120. That makes quite some sense. So my first target, my second target, and I have to have a third target as well. Yeah, and that would be around this level of 67 cents, right? So that's not that much more down. Well, 20% perfectly, by the way. So that would be my entries for Magic. Yeah. And if you want to swing trade it, you can sell it at $2.10, by the way. But yeah. So that's it for now. It takes too long, but you know, these are the entries that I have. If you like the video, please like the video. Don't forget, I'm giving away, together with Bybit, iPhone 14. All you have to do is just sign up to the link in the description, deposit at least $100, and just trade a little bit. You know, if you want to buy these altcoins, buy them there, for example. You can already win a brand new iPhone 14. Guys, please, if you haven't subscribed, do that. Leave a comment if you have questions, suggestions, whatever, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.